So, hi Brian, thanks for joining us. You worked as a broker and even managed a hedge fund, but things are really getting off the educational ground now. You published a great book. It's called Technical Analysis Using Multiple Time Frame, and you also started a paid financial website. So, I think you're a very busy man. Am I right?
I try to keep it balanced, but yeah, it's a passion for me, so it doesn't feel like work so much. But I try to keep my mind busy and time occupied.
Great. Okay. How much time do you spend on trading each day? Is it a lot?
Well, I mean, I'm in front of the computer pretty much all day when the market is open, for the most part each day. I typically will sit down in front of the computer about an hour before the market opens, try to kind of get a feel for what's going on, and then for about an hour after the market, I'll sit around and look at stuff, and then I'll come back to it later on that evening, maybe for another hour or so. So it's a fair amount of time, but it's actually, as I've gotten more, I've become more efficient with experience, that I don't have to spend as many hours looking at stocks as I might have in the past, because my skills have gotten better, I guess.
Do you trade less or more now?
It's been pretty steady, actually. I'm a pretty active trader, so it's been pretty steady at a very active pace.
Uh-huh. Great. Okay. So you're actually on the point now that you can live from trading?
I do. Yes, and I would tell people that trading is a very tough business. Mm-hmm. And in order to live off your trading, which I've done for a number of years, is a difficult endeavor, because it's up and down. It's not a steady paycheck. So with that in mind, I've thought that while I'm trading and putting the thought into it, I can diversify my income stream as well through a paid subscription and through the book, and get the information out there. So I would say that if you're looking to trade full time, that it can be done, but there's a high failure rate. And
is it because of psychology?
I mean, is that why the failure rate is so high? Is that what you're asking me?
Yeah.
I guess it could all be traced back to psychology, and that certain certain flaws in one's characteristics will lead them to going out of business, basically, because they're just stubborn about holding a losing trade too long, and the one loser that really destroys a portfolio or account value, letting losers get away. So I would say it's probably rooted back to psychology, but just poor discipline, poor trading habits, not being properly prepared for the trading day. There's a lot of factors that go into it.
So actually, I can imagine you have for each situation a sort of a plan, a strategy. You don't come unprepared to the markets.
Well, what I like to do is I like to listen to the market, and I try to find what appear to me to be good, low risk, potentially low risk ideas, based on the setups. That is, I don't think there's a lot of room to the downside and along. If I'm getting involved there, if I get stopped out, the losses won't be very big. And I try to anticipate all market scenarios and figure out where we are, where we have the potential to go, and what might go wrong that maybe we would get a reversal.
Okay, thanks. I read. I really love the quotes you put on your blog. For example, education is not filling a bucket but lighting a fire. I'm a teacher myself, so it's really it's a cool quote, I guess. But why do you want to educate people about the markets? Why are you so generous?
Well, that's nice of you to say. I enjoy it. I guess it kind of comes naturally. I don't have I've never had a master plan for being an educator, but I've sat on trading floors where Had people ask me questions. I've explained things, and then kind of put little materials together that developed into courses that kind of developed into, hey, why don't I write a book about this? And it just kind of happened itself, really. It wasn't really a big premeditated thing.
Mm-hmm. There are also two other quotes I like. Be vigilant, guard your mind against negative thoughts. That was also a good one. And experience is the best teacher, but a fool will learn from no other. And I just thought, actually, you use a lot of those quotes. That sounds like more like flow psychology or even Buddhism to me. For example, take what the market is willing to give you. Did trading affect your life philosophy itself?
Is that I'm not sure I understand your question. I mean, if you're asking me, am I Buddhist? No.
No. Not at all. But sometimes, if you trade the markets, you have to have self-control, or you don't have you can't force things. Did those trading rules, did it affect your life, putting things more into perspective?
Yeah, as Zen inner focus. I mean, you have to just take a look at the big picture and listen to or you can't ignore the pieces that are there in front of you. You have to look at them and try not to force your opinion so much on the markets. And maybe in relationships with people as well, and trying to understand people. Put your, like they say, walk a mile in a man's shoes. It's easy to judge someone on the outside so you understand what they're going through. It's easy to look at the market and say, here's what I think is going to happen, but the market doesn't care what we think, and if we stubbornly stick to our opinion, it might end up costing a lot of money. So you just have to have that flexibility, I think, and open-mindedness to any scenario. Otherwise, you'll get run over.
Yeah, exactly. I know what you're talking about. Had that several times.
And those aren't my quotes, by the way. Those were quotes that I don't want anyone to think that I'm taking credit for those, because those aren't. I posted the author of them as well when I did those.
Exactly. The first one was from Buddha, so that explains the Buddhism thing, I guess.
Okay, actually, there's a thing I follow on Twitter called Tiny Buddha, and they do a little Buddha quote each day. It's kind of interesting.
Cool. I will check it out. So